They thought their power was unshakable. They thought their hidden meetings, their whispered plans, and their secret alliances would go unnoticed. For so long, the dark society believed they could rise unchecked, weaving lies, sending opposition, and summoning forces to stand against you. But what they did not understand is that no matter how carefully darkness works, it can never outlast the light. And now the shift has come. The illusion of their strength has been torn apart, their false foundations crumbling as divine justice sweeps through. The very heaven they mocked is now standing against them, dismantling everything they tried to build in secret. For years, they thought you were vulnerable. They mistook your silence for weakness, your patience for defeat, your struggles for an end. But hidden beneath the surface was a resilience they could never destroy. You endured their attacks. You stood tall through storms they thought would drown you, and in the end, you carried something they could never touch. That is why their downfall was inevitable. Because every time they rose against you, they were rising against a force far greater than themselves. And when heaven decides enough is enough, no society, no gathering, no dark ritual can stand in its way. Now their plans unravel. The very weapons they formed against you are turning back on them. The alliances they trusted are crumbling. Their voices grow weaker, their influence shatters, and the mask they wore to hide their intentions has been ripped away. What once seemed so threatening now looks pitiful, because light has exposed it for what it truly is. And you, chosen one, stand unbroken in the middle of it all, your spirit shining with a strength they never imagined you carried. This is not revenge. It is alignment. This is not chaos. It is order being restored. The truth is this: darkness always overreaches. It always believes it has more power than it does. It convinces itself that it can silence the chosen by surrounding them, by attacking their peace, by planting doubt in their hearts. But the mistake they made was forgetting that heaven does not remain silent forever. The longer they schemed, the heavier the judgment they invited on themselves. And now their time has run out. They are being crushed, not by human hands, but by the weight of truth, justice, and divine intervention. And while they scatter, you rise. While their foundation collapses, your steps are ordered. While their voices fall silent, your presence grows louder. This is the shift that no one can deny. The chosen one shines brighter after every attack, while the enemies fade into the shadows they once thought would protect them. Their downfall is proof of your elevation. Their defeat is confirmation of your destiny, and nothing they can do will ever change that. You are here for a reason. The fact that you pressed play and arrived at this very moment is not an accident. It is alignment. This message carries energy, and that energy is not only about the downfall of those who rose against you, but also about the rise that is waiting for you. That's why, before we go further, I invite you into something more than just listening. Watch this video until the end. Allow every word to speak to you, every phrase to plant hope, and every moment to charge your spirit. When you finish, write your most heartfelt wishes in the comments. Mark them with 777, and let the universe carry them to completion. Do this not as a simple action, but as a declaration of trust, a way of releasing your energy and allowing blessings to flow back to you. And if this resonates with you, subscribe so that your journey continues with strength, light, and encouragement. Now, let's return to the truth that cannot be denied. For too long, the dark society believed they had control. They built their confidence on deception, manipulation, and fear. They thought no one would ever see through the masks they wore, the rituals they conducted in silence, and the forces they tried to summon to stand against you. But what they never considered was that heaven had been watching the entire time. Every hidden move, every whispered plot, every attempt to trap you was recorded in silence, waiting for the moment when justice would fall. And now that moment has come. The collapse of their power is not just coincidence, it is consequence. Every action carries weight. Every intention creates a ripple. And when intentions are soaked in darkness, the ripples eventually return as waves that crush those who sent them. That is exactly what is happening now. Their rituals have backfired, their alliances have fractured, and their influence is dissolving before their very eyes. What they thought would destroy you is destroying them. What they planned in secret has become the very spotlight exposing their downfall. And you, chosen one, have stood through it all. You did not need to strike back. You did not need to fight on their level. You endured, you waited, you trusted. And now, as their foundation crumbles, you remain unshaken, shining brighter than ever. Your resilience has become proof that no amount of darkness can cover a soul destined to rise. Your patience has become the very tool that ensured your enemies would be revealed for what they truly are. And now, as heaven crushes their false power, your story is becoming one of unstoppable triumph. This is not about revenge. This is not about proving them wrong with bitterness. This is about balance returning, order being restored, truth standing unshaken while lies collapse under their own weight. Every attempt they made against you only revealed more of your strength. Every shadow they sent only highlighted your light. And now the world can see what they tried to hide, that you were always chosen. And no dark society could ever change that. The hidden always believes it can remain hidden forever. That is the arrogance of those who live in secrecy, who move in shadows, who build their confidence on deception. For years, this dark society thought their plans were secure. They whispered behind closed doors. They wove rituals in silence. They imagined themselves untouchable. But now their illusion has been shattered. The power they thought would protect them has betrayed them. What they built in darkness has been exposed by the light, and what they believed would remain unseen is now being crushed for the world to witness. You, chosen one, were never supposed to survive in their eyes. They imagined your story ending in obscurity, your voice silenced, your influence erased. They underestimated what was inside you, and they underestimated the power of heaven standing with you. That is why their fall is so loud. It's not just about what they lost, it's about what they failed to see. They failed to see your endurance. They failed to see your purpose. And most of all, they failed to see that no force of darkness can override divine order. Look at how everything has turned against them. The rituals they performed in secret, meant to weaken you, have turned into chains around their own ankles. The alliances they trusted are breaking apart, each member scrambling to save themselves while abandoning the others. Their unity is dissolving, their strength collapsing, their voices contradicting one another. This is what happens when fear replaces power. Those who once seemed strong now reveal themselves as desperate. And in that desperation, their empire crumbles. Meanwhile, you have not needed to lift a hand. Your shine, your presence, your resilience has been enough. While they schemed, you remained steady. While they attacked, you endured. And while they tried to bury you, you grew deeper roots. That is why heaven's crushing power has arrived. Not because you begged for it, but because the time for balance has come. Everything they tried to place against you has only worked in your favor. Every shadow sent your way has only made your light clearer. Every whisper meant to break you has only become proof of your unshakable strength. The lesson in this is profound. The chosen are not elevated by fighting at the same level as their enemies. They are elevated by refusing to be shaken, by letting life itself expose what cannot last. You didn't need to prove yourself in their arenas. You didn't need to waste your breath in their debates. You simply lived in truth, and the truth itself became your defender. That is why the dark society has fallen apart. Their fight was never truly against you. It was against the order of heaven itself, and no one wins that battle. And now the world watches as their power dissolves. People who once feared them are now realizing they were never as strong as they appeared. Their masks are gone, their voices weaker, their influence stripped away. And in the center of it all, you stand, unchanged, unbroken, still glowing with the strength that carried you through every attack. This is the power of revelation. It is not just about your enemies being crushed. It is about the truth being seen, the order being restored, and the light shining brighter than the shadows ever could. So remember this: every attempt they made against you was doomed from the start. Every scheme they plotted was already destined to collapse. And every attack they sent only confirmed what was always true: that you were chosen, that you were protected, and that no dark society could ever silence the destiny inside you. When systems built in shadows begin to collapse, they do not fall quietly. They shatter with noise, with chaos, with desperation. That is exactly what is unfolding now. The dark society, once so confident in its hidden strength, is scrambling to hold on to fragments of power that were never truly theirs. They believed their secrecy made them untouchable. They thought their alliances gave them permanence. But secrecy always unravels under the light, and alliances forged in darkness cannot survive the weight of truth. Heaven is crushing what they built, piece by piece, and the sound of their downfall echoes as a warning to anyone who would follow their path. For you, chosen one, this moment is more than vindication. It is confirmation. It confirms that your endurance was never in vain. It confirms that every night you carried burdens in silence, every moment you resisted despair, every step you took despite the weight against you has been acknowledged. The very forces that rose to silence you are now being silenced themselves. The same voices that mocked you are now trembling, their confidence stripped away, their masks broken. This is what happens when truth takes its rightful place. Everything false must bow to it. Notice how quickly their strength dissolves once exposed. What looked like unity now splinters into betrayal. What looked like confidence now reveals itself as fear. What looked like control now lies in ruins. This is because power built on manipulation cannot stand against authenticity. And your authenticity, your light, your unshaken presence, has become the very thing that dismantles them. They underestimated you, not realizing that the chosen shine brightest when pressed hardest. Every attack only refined your fire. Every attempt to bury you only pushed your roots deeper. Now, that strength is unmissable, and their weakness undeniable. But this is not just about you and them. This is about order being restored. Darkness thrives when people forget that justice always arrives, when they convince themselves that heaven is silent. Yet silence is not absence. It is patience. It is the waiting of divine timing, the gathering of weight until the moment comes when the crushing begins. That moment has arrived. Every scheme they thought was hidden has been dragged into the open. Every force they summoned has turned back against them, and the very ground they stood on has cracked beneath them. You did not need to push them there. You did not need to spend your strength fighting them at their level. All you had to do was endure, hold on, and keep walking forward. The crushing of their power is not your doing. It is the doing of heaven itself. That is why it feels so complete. That is why it cannot be undone. No one can fight against the hand of truth. No one can stop what is destined to fall. And when destiny decides a dark society has reached its end, nothing can preserve it. And so, the narrative has shifted. Once people feared them. Once their influence seemed overwhelming. But now, people are witnessing their collapse in real time. They are realizing that what once seemed unstoppable was fragile all along. The same crowd that once doubted you now sees that you were the one carrying strength all along. They see the difference between borrowed power and authentic power. And as they watch the dark society being crushed, they cannot deny the reality of your resilience, your endurance, your light. This is what it means to rise in truth. Not by striking back, not by lowering yourself to their schemes, but by standing firm until heaven itself moves on your behalf. That is why your story is powerful, not because you fought with the same weapons they used, but because you trusted, endured, and became living proof that destiny cannot be stopped. And now, with the dark society in ruins, your shine is undeniable, your presence unshakable, and your path clearer than ever. The collapse of a dark foundation is never sudden in reality. It is the result of years of arrogance, lies, and unchecked pride. But when it finally happens, it looks instant, as if all their power was snatched away in one sweep. That is what people are seeing now. The dark society that once stood boldly, whispering threats and carrying themselves as if they were untouchable, is unraveling faster than anyone expected. Their walls are crumbling, their secrets exposed, their unity broken. And you, chosen one, are standing steady as heaven does the work of crushing everything they thought would last forever. What makes this moment so extraordinary is how clearly the contrast shows. On one side, you endured every storm they sent against you. You walked through shadows, but you did not become one with them. You carried wounds, but you kept moving forward. You were doubted, mocked, and underestimated, yet you did not let those things define you. On the other side, they lived by deception. They rose on manipulation. They thrived on secrecy. They mocked truth as if it were weakness. And now, truth has exposed every corner of their empire. What they thought was power has been revealed as emptiness. What they thought was strength has been revealed as fear. People are beginning to whisper in awe, not about them, but about you. The very crowd that once believed in their influence is starting to recognize that it was all smoke and mirrors. They see the evidence of your endurance, the clarity of your resilience, the brilliance of your shine. They see that while the dark society collapses, you remain. While their power dissolves, yours grows. While their voices fade into confusion, your presence carries calm authority. And even those who doubted you before cannot ignore the reality anymore. Understand this. Your rise is not accidental. It is not a stroke of luck or a sudden twist of fate. It is the fulfillment of what was always written. You were never meant to be buried forever. You were planted. Every attack became soil. Every rejection became water. Every disappointment became sunlight. And now the seed that was once hidden beneath the surface has grown into something undeniable. The more they tried to bury you, the more unstoppable your growth became. That is why heaven's crushing power has fallen on them. Not to make you arrogant, but to show that no opposition can stop what is destined to grow. And what of them? The dark society that once strutted so proudly now finds itself scrambling for explanations. Some deny. Some blame one another. Some try to rebuild on the ruins of what was lost. But all their efforts are in vain. Once heaven has declared an end, there is no rebuilding. Once divine order has said enough, no hidden ritual, no whispered alliance, no secret plot can restore what has been destroyed. That is why their collapse is final. That is why their fall is irreversible. For you, chosen one, this season is a reminder of something greater. You are not defined by the opposition you faced, but by the strength that rose in you because of it. Your story is not about their downfall. It is about your endurance, your authenticity, your light. Their collapse is only the background to your rise. And as you continue to step forward, you carry the proof that no amount of darkness can override the plan set over your life. So lift your head, not in pride, but in certainty. Walk forward, not in fear, but in confidence. The society that tried to silence you is no longer a threat. Their shadows no longer reach you. Their whispers no longer carry weight. They have been crushed under the weight of truth, and you have been elevated by the same truth they tried to deny. This is the balance of destiny. The chosen shine brighter, while the darkness that rose against them dissolves into nothing. The strength of darkness was always an illusion. It fed on fear, thrived on secrets, and built its confidence on the silence of others. But silence does not last forever. and fear is no match for truth. The moment heaven moved, the illusions of the dark society shattered like glass. What once appeared unshakable was revealed to be fragile, and what they thought would last has already crumbled into dust. Now their empire lies in ruins, and their voices are nothing more than faint echoes of pride long gone. You, chosen one, were never meant to fight them on their level. That is why your story is so powerful. While they conspired, you endured. While they plotted, you grew stronger. While they tried to break you, you were being refined. The crushing of their schemes was not done by your hands. It was done by a force far greater. Heaven itself has moved on your behalf, and that is why their downfall is so complete. It is not partial, it is not temporary, it is absolute. Their foundation is gone, their plans reversed, and their authority stripped away. It is remarkable how quickly perception changes. Once, people saw the dark society as a source of power. They looked untouchable, fearless, commanding. But now, those same observers see only weakness. They see division where there once seemed to be unity. They see fear where there once seemed to be confidence. They see ruin where there once seemed to be control. And in contrast, they see you. They see the chosen one who endured when others would have broken. They see the resilience in your spirit, the glow in your presence, the undeniable shine that no amount of shadow could cover. This season has revealed more than their downfall. It has revealed your true strength. You no longer doubt whether you were meant to rise. You no longer question whether you are strong enough. Every attempt they made against you has become proof that you were always more than they believed. And now, their collapse is the evidence of your elevation. They thought they were silencing you, but they were only amplifying your voice. They thought they were burying you, but they were planting the seed of your destiny. They thought they were breaking you, but they were building the foundation of your shine. And now the order of things has shifted completely. They are put in their place, not by your revenge, but by truth itself. They stand in ruins while you stand in clarity. They hide in shame while you rise in confidence. They whisper in fear while you speak in authenticity. Their fall has become your rise. Their silence has become your song. And as the dust settles, the world can no longer deny the contrast between who you are and who they pretended to be. But the story is not just about them fading away. It is about what lies ahead for you. The crushing of the dark society is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a greater chapter. With their opposition removed, your path is clearer. With their influence gone, your light is freer to shine without obstruction. With their noise silenced, your voice can be heard with greater clarity. This is not just vindication, it is preparation. Preparation for the next level, the next calling, the next step in your destiny. And so, you stand now at the turning point. Behind you are the ruins of those who tried to stop you. Before you is the open road of possibilities that cannot be denied. You have been tested, you have been refined, and you have been proven. And no matter what rises against you in the future, you carry within you the unshakable knowledge that heaven has already fought for you, crushed what stood in your way, and established you in a place where no dark society can reach again. There is a silence after the storm that speaks louder than the thunder itself. That silence has begun to cover everything now. The once loud voices of the dark society are gone, replaced with uncertainty, fear, and regret. What they built in arrogance has been scattered. Their rituals, their secret gatherings, their plans, everything has collapsed under the weight of truth. The crushing is complete, and what remains is nothing but fragments of what they thought would endure forever. You, chosen one, have walked through this fire without being consumed. You faced storms that would have broken others, but you remained. You carried the weight of lies spoken against you, the weight of traps laid to stop you, and yet here you stand, not diminished, but brighter. This brightness is not just survival, it is transformation. Every attack that was meant to break you has instead refined you. Every opposition you faced has only served as confirmation that heaven's hand was over your life the entire time. Now people see the contrast more clearly than ever. They remember how confident your enemies once looked, how untouchable they seemed, how fearless they pretended to be. And they see them now, shaken, silent, exposed. At the same time, they look at you, the one who was underestimated, doubted, pushed aside, and they see strength, clarity, and authenticity. The contrast is undeniable. What they thought was power has been revealed as weakness, and what they thought was weakness has been revealed as unstoppable strength. This is not just a story of defeat for your enemies. It is a story of awakening for those who watched. Many who once believed the lies are now realizing the truth. Many who once joined the crowd against you are now questioning their choices. Many who once stayed silent are now speaking words of respect. Because when heaven crushes falsehood, it is not only your enemies who are corrected, it is everyone watching who is reminded that truth always wins. And through it all, you shine. Not because you forced anyone to see you, not because you demanded recognition, but because light cannot be hidden. You shine because you remained true to yourself. You shine because you carried integrity when others chose deception. You shine because you endured storms with patience instead of giving up. That shine has now become impossible to ignore, and it is that shine that puts your enemies exactly where they belong. Behind you, beneath the truth they cannot escape. Do not underestimate the significance of this moment. You are standing in a season of vindication, but also in a season of preparation. The crushing of the dark society is not the end of your journey, it is the clearing of the path ahead. Their collapse was necessary so that your steps could move forward freely. Their downfall was inevitable because your rise was destined. And now, with their noise silenced, you are free to walk with greater clarity, greater focus, and greater power. But take note, this is not the last time resistance will come. Darkness always tries again. It always searches for another opening, another weakness, another chance to strike. Yet the memory of this victory will carry you forward. The knowledge that heaven itself has already fought for you will anchor you no matter what comes next. You have already seen what happens when lies try to rise against truth, and you know how it ends. They fall, and truth stands. So stand firm now, not in fear, but in confidence. Do not look back at the ruins of your enemies. Do not waste your energy on voices that no longer carry weight. Look ahead to the path that has been cleared for you. Your shine will only grow brighter from here, and no dark society, no hidden scheme, no whispered plan can undo what has already been established. You are chosen, you are radiant, and you are unstoppable. The journey has led to this moment. The final silence after the storm. The clarity after years of confusion. The peace after battles you never asked for, but were forced to endure. The dark society that once rose so confidently, that once laughed and schemed in shadows, is no more. Their strength has been scattered like ashes in the wind, their voices reduced to whispers no one listens to, their presence dissolved into nothing. And you, chosen one, stand unshaken, a living testament that light is always greater than shadow. This victory is not about arrogance, nor is it about vengeance. It is about balance. It is about the order of the universe, the hand of heaven restoring what had been twisted. They thought deception could hold power forever. They thought silence from above meant approval of their schemes. But silence was only patience, and patience ran out. The crushing has been final, absolute, undeniable. And in the ruins of their pride, your shine has only become brighter, clearer, and unstoppable. Look at how far you have come. Once you were overlooked. Once you were doubted. Once They believed you would never rise. Yet here you are, stronger than the storms that came against you, radiant after the fire they thought would destroy you. Every scar has become proof of survival. Every wound has become proof of healing. Every trial has become proof that you were always more resilient than they imagined.